Alright, so basically, yeah, long story short, this is just a reaction or a review on episode 4 of Blue Therapy. And all I can say is to both Paul, in fact, to all of them actually, all of them, especially Paul, but yeah, all of them, yeah, all of them, but especially Paul, I'm gonna insert the clip right here.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
So big up Nella Rose. But anyway, so basically, yeah, there's like many points I can make on this particular episode. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reel off a list of lessons, because that's what I do. I do lessons that you can learn from, prevention solutions, all that good stuff there. Yeah, get me? No long thing. Yeah, I'm gonna read it off, and then we just round it up, summarize, and give a proper conclusion. All right, so let's get into it. So in general, there's basically, let's see, over 34 to 35 points. Yeah. All right, so let's see if I can do this as quick as possible. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be, because there was 2 parts last time, and I ain't trying to go down that route this time. So anyway, first point is, what I liked was Denise, the therapist, asked a good question on how life was, basically how their life was, their routine before they got together or before they were in a relationship. And I think that's a good point, because when you're in a relationship, yeah, this is what happened with, in fact, fuck that, before we get into, nah, this is gonna make it long. No, you know what, I say it all afterwards, fuck it. Alright, so then the second point was, Chioma said that she used to cook and clean for Paul, but didn't see it as an obligation before they got together. Biggie up Chioma, and big up any woman, yeah, that is not married, that cooks for their man, yeah, and don't feel obliged that they have to, but do it anyway, yeah. That's a good look, and I can see why Paul would be attracted to Chioma because of that situation, even if, we'll get into it in a minute. Let me show you something. Alright, then the other lesson, in fact, that's what I do. I'll read it off, yeah, one by one, but I say the lesson as quick as possible. So yeah, let's go back to part 1, yeah. So part 1 was Denise, or number 1, Denise asked a good question on how life routine was before they got together, and it's very key that you actually learn and you know how their life is before they got together. I'm talking about the actual routine of how their day-to-day life is, yeah, because you have to understand that in order to live together, you have to adapt to each other's needs. Do you understand what I'm saying? And and if you know your role as a man in a relationship, you know the role that you got to play. If you know the role as a woman in a relationship, you know the role that you got to play. If you don't worry. Get me? There's a link in the description box below where it says become a member of the Alkebulantrust, and in the course roles and relationships, that's where to learn all that vital piece of information. Yeah, so you're fully prepared. All right, so yeah, we can skip part number 2. All right, so number 3, Chioma felt like she's Paul's chef and cleaner, and from her facial expressions, yeah, she doesn't like it. Yet she says she don't mind submitting to her man and feeding him. Oh wait. Okay, let me get back to her. So she doesn't like it, yet she says she is a Nigerian woman, yeah, and she don't mind submitting to her man and feeding him. Do you see what I mean? Now, is it a Nigerian thing to do? I don't know, yeah? And the reason why I'm going to say I don't know is because Nigeria was practically invented in 1897 by the colonizers, so we ain't going to get into that. But she's an Igbo woman, yeah? Is it an Igbo thing to do? Yes, it is. You know what I mean? Because they're very hospitable type of people. Like, even I've seen it within my family. Do you know what I mean? They're very hospitable type of people. They will make sure that you eat, bruv. I'm telling you. Like, I cannot go to either one of my auntie's houses, especially, well, one of my aunties, yeah. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Like, she will make sure I eat. You know what I mean? She will always offer me food. Obviously, I'm family, innit? So it's different. But like, I say it's different, but I guess at the same time, it's not really different. But anyway, but I can't really speak for growing up in a household like that in terms of that, because I grew up in a Jamaican household. I was in foster care, but that's another story there. But even my foster mom was very hospitable to guests that came through to the house and stuff like that. So I'm used to that. I'm used to seeing that and experiencing that. So I will, anyway, let's never get into me right now. All right, so then the 4th point, you see my phone, yeah? All right, cool. Boom. What's the 4th? All right, so Chioma says Paul has denounced. Okay, so even before it says all because he used to make food for himself before they got together. So before they got together, he would make his own food. Makes sense. But she would still make him food as well. Cool. All right. So there is that situation where she doesn't mind, but he can make his own food too, which is understandable. But if you say you're a Nigerian woman and you don't mind submitting to your man, then that also means catering towards your man and actually feeding him. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't feel a way about it just because in the past, when he was single or whatever the case is, or when you were just dating or just seeing each other, you know what I mean, he was feeding himself. You know what I mean? Now you evolve together. You know what I mean? And you, anyway. 4th point. Chioma says Paul has denounced cultural food and he fell in love with her because of her cooking. Now, as he changed, his reason is there are too many calories in those dishes for him. Now, here's the thing. I do agree that there possibly are more calories in these, you know, traditional foods and stuff like that. I do kind of agree. However, that doesn't mean that you should denounce it or not eat it. There's days where you can eat it, or timing as well. Because I think even one of my uncles was telling me as well. Yeah, my uncle was telling me that, you know, you would eat the heavier food like in the morning or in the afternoon or whatever, and it gets lighter as you go on through the day. And when you deep it, yeah, it doesn't mean that you will put on weight. That you only put on weight when you're not being active enough to burn all those calories. Do you see what I'm saying? So the thing is, if you look at the majority of, like, there's many Africans, yeah, that have many, there's many African dishes, isn't it? And many of them may have a lot of calories. But let's talk about Nigeria, for example. It was kind of difficult to say because there's many tribes within that region. But even so, you can see that there are men in general that are well built, like they look muscular. Do you see what I mean? Why is that? Do you see what I mean? Then there's also women that look thick and voluptuous. Yeah, okay, now, yeah, there are some that do look big, and even men that have pot belly, but it's a situation with, you know, what are they doing to burn off those calories at the same time? And also it does depend on the age as well. Like, there's various factors involved. But anyway, let's keep it moving. But it doesn't mean that you should denounce your culture. You know what I mean? Anyway, and because I can admit to, you know, trying to play to the calorie type of thing, innit? Trying to be on a deficit for now. That's just me, that person, because I'm trying to lose a particular type of weight, get to a weight level. Then I'm gonna do. I don't want to talk about too deep, but just to say I understand, yeah. But doesn't mean I'm denouncing my culture. I'm even wearing a Nigerian hat. Excuse me, deep that for a second. Anyway, what was the other point? Right. Alright, so 5. Paul admits he has been through depression and food was his outlet. It took him a while to lose the weight and get into shape. It says he has been strict with his workout and dietary needs, which is understandable because obviously if food was your outlet and it was, let's say it was Nigerian dishes and stuff like that, then obviously you're gonna see, yeah, it's probably as triggering, like, oh, this may help you, this may make me put on weight. But if you're always in the gym burning those calories or doing other activities to burn the calories, especially through the week, 9 out of 10 times you're not gonna put on that weight. You know what I mean? You're most probably gonna, now on average, yeah, like this is no joke. On average, most people burn up to 0.5 calories. Yeah, 0.5 to 0.7 calories, or not calories, kilos a week on average. And sometimes they either put that on or, you know what I mean, or it comes off. Like it just, you know what I mean, it varies. It doesn't mean that you're always gonna put on weight. You know what I mean? It varies from time to time. It just depends on your activities and all that stuff there. So, but you know, if he's scared, or if you're in a similar situation, if you're scared that because you eat your emotions, whatever the case is, then you need to learn how to manage your emotions properly. You see what I mean? Learn how to deal with your problems effectively. Yeah. He says he's a man. All right. Because I saw another video. I think it was, he got an interview with Free Shots, Tequila podcast, and he mentions about being a man or strong black man. So if you're a strong black man, yeah, then as a strong black man, what you would do is you would react like a man. You understand? Like, I'm reacting like a man is knowing that, you know what, I've achieved this goal. Obviously, you don't want to, obviously, anyway, let's not get into this right now, because this is going to make this video this video is going to be longer than I expected. And I'm only on 7. No, I'm only on 6. So let's just breeze through this. Alright, so Chioma feels as though she let Paul down and she heard about the problem in the therapy session for the first time. You see what I mean? And obviously, I get it. I get why he wouldn't tell her. Yeah, because unfortunately, sometimes some women do use your low points to try and manipulate you. You see what I mean? Or if you're in an argument, you know what I mean? They end up bringing it up. It's like a low blow. Nobody wants to go through that shit. Nobody. So I can get that. You know what I mean? But, you know, it is what it is with that one. And then number 7, Paul didn't tell, and he mentioned Paul didn't tell Chioma because it is personal, and she can be insensitive using it to manipulate him. See what I'm saying? And then he, okay, yeah. Number 8, Chioma said when they met he was fat but going to the gym. You know what I mean? So obviously, yeah. And then Paul mentioned, so obviously if you think you're fat or whatever the case is, just go to the gym, but make sure you're eating right first as well. And you can still have your cultural food as well. Don't get it twisted. And there are other cultural foods that are kind of because anyway, when we get the other cultural foods from what I'm aware of that you can eat that are not high in calorie. I know this, yeah. But anyway, we won't even get to that for now. I'll just tell you which ones for now. Alright, so boom. Number 9. Paul mentioned Chioma doesn't take her dietary seriously, and that's a red flag to him. Alright, so boom. Again, if this is a red flag to you, and you had other red flags, we didn't mention the red flags, but the other things that she said and done, end the relationship. You're a man, right? You're a strong black man. End that relationship then. Simple shit. Simple shit. Obviously, you can't force someone to have the same type of dietary needs you have. And if she's doing the cooking and you want her to do the cooking, you know what I mean? And then she's not catering towards your needs properly or whatever, then end it. And then find someone else that does. Or you do it. You know what I mean? Anyway. Number 10. Chioma mentioned about wanting her kids to eat traditional food like pounded yam. Yeah, get me though. Big up Chioma. Get me. Big up any African woman from any tribe. And big up Caribbean women too. Yeah? Like, that want their children to eat their traditional foods. Yeah? Simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's as simple as that. Yeah? Big them up. Because they end up allowing their children to do that and they get a taste of their culture. I think culture is important. It embraces your identity and all that stuff there. But yeah, let's go. Alright, number 11. Jamel said it. Jamel said if Deborah, or as Fred Santana calls her, Deborah. That's mad. Deborah. Big up Fred Santana though. Nice Baby Show. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel as well. Get me. Watch their podcast. Follow them on Instagram. Get me. The Nice Baby Show. Follow them as well on Instagram. Each one of their accounts. VP and a cut. Fred Santana and Temi Alchemy. Anyway, so what was I gonna say? So Jamel said it. He basically said it. If Deborah doesn't trust Jamel, yeah, if he doesn't trust him, then why are they in a relationship? So it's mind-boggling that she don't trust him, which is absolutely fucking true. It's true. If you don't trust him, yeah, if you're a man, if you're a woman, yeah, and you don't trust your man, for whatever reason, yeah, for whatever reason, scrap that relationship. Why are you still in a relationship? You know what I mean? Like, make it make sense. Anyway, number 12. Same issue with Jamel and Deborah. With women interacting with Jamel. Mentioned that in the previous episode. Or the previous reaction video, whatever. Number 13. Chioma asked Paul if his mother calculated the African dishes. So he cooked for him. As Paul would still eat ice cream and other junk food just because it's calculated. See, alright, so this is the problem here, right? The problem is, technically you shouldn't be having junk food. Now, listen, I have junk food now and again. I'm trying to weed my way off of it. And even, the day I recorded this video, I had junk food. I won't lie to you, yeah? But it made me realize, after how it's making me feel, I'm like, yeah, it tastes nice, but how it makes me feel, I don't really feel good. You know what I mean? I don't feel good. I don't, like, my system ain't allowing it. Especially after the week I had. You know what I mean? Like, just every day, I'm losing a kilo. Okay, couple days. Yeah, a kilo. Every day a kilo. And it's like, that's the bare minimum, a kilo. There was a couple days that were like a 1.2 kilos and then 1.1 kilo. But anyway, let's not talk about me. But I understood about the calorie intake. You know what I mean? It's like, my thing is this, yeah? You have to understand that it can't be like African dishes or in general, food can't really be calculated. Even with these calories, when you deep it, yeah, they can't really be calculated. I don't care how scientific people want to put things into whatever the case is there with these foods. They can't really be calculated. However, some of them are calculated and some of them do seem a bit accurate, which is understandable. Yeah? Because I know from me personally, with what I've been having from Monday throughout to Friday, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's been calculated and it seems accurate enough. You know what I mean? It may not be 100% accurate, but it seems accurate enough. Yeah? And I'm seeing and feeling the changes. So there's a difference there. But if so, can that really be calculated? No. Can ice cream really be calculated? No. Can African dishes be calculated? No. Even when they're cooking, you can't calculate the seasoning you put in. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, there was something that Chioma said as well, which is what I liked, yeah? You know what I mean? In regards to that, the whole situation. But anyway, the next point is Chioma goes in about the way African food is cooked, and that's the point I was trying to make as well as what she mentioned. And I like what she said in regards to that. So big her up for that. You know what I mean? Big her up. And then Paul's like chatting up. The other point is Paul chatting Roberts about not wanting to eat traditional food in a suit in an African restaurant in Peckham. Funny enough, he rather eat it in Piccadilly Circus or something like that. It's like, what the fuck has that got to do with anything, fam? Listen. In fact, you know what's mad, yeah? You know you can put on I think, is it a serviette or whatever you call it? You can put that over your fucking thing. And I've seen people in certain restaurants, whatever, eat burgers that are using your hands. Like, deep this for a moment. There's some foods, yeah, that are Western where they use their hands. And even when they eat it, it dirties their clothes. Even like, for example, although, what would you class like Mexican? Would you say that's Western? I don't know. I should know, but I don't know. But either way, like burritos and stuff like that, yeah, that can dirt, or tortillas or whatever, depending how it's made and with the sauce and all that stuff there, you need to use your hands. That could dirty your shirt. Like, fam, Paul's just chatting a load of... Bruh, anyway, let me not chat anymore in regards to Paul right now. And then Chioma says her mum and grandma taught her how to cook. So, big up Chioma's mum and big up her grandma. Big up all the women that are teaching their children, yeah, or the women in their family, the next generation, how to cook their traditional dishes. Yeah, I fucking love that shit. Yeah, and big up all the men that are teaching the boys how to be men in their culture. Do you know what I mean? Doing the stuff that they need to do. Like, get me? That's how it goes. That's how it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. What is the other thing I'm going to mention? Okay, yeah, so. Where is it? Number 17. Denise kept it real by saying they are both on different page, but they would have to come to an agreement, which Paul responded by saying preach and period. Like, he was just being sarcastic and cocky and stuff like that. But the reality is they are on different pages, but it's a different page to the point where they're not even on a different page. They're reading different books. Different books. Yeah? Different books, basically. So they need to just end it. Yeah, I'll keep on saying they need to end it. And then Paul basically is moving anti-African. He is too westernized for Chioma. Despite Chioma not really wanting to be a housewife, Paul says when Chioma is cooking, she plays Wizkid and Afro beats like she's in a village. Fam. You know when he said that, I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing, bruv? Because you know what people say? People say, oh, this is fake. I'm like, alright, cool. If it's fake, yeah? If it's fake, why would you agree to make yourself look like a damn fool as a grown man? Now, I get if he's between 18 to 21. Like, from those ages, I would completely understand. Yeah? I wouldn't necessarily agree with it, with the antics they're saying or doing, but I would understand it. But he looks like a big man, bruv. This man looks like he's like a fucking, well, he is an uncle, but like a uncle, like all that stuff there. Like, allow yourself, man. But unfortunately, there's some people that have an anti-African mindset. Do you see what I mean? He's saying African proud. Yeah, you could be African and proud. Or yeah, we're African and proud, but no, yeah, you could be African and proud, but we're in London. Fam, do you know there's some people that are like Asian and proud and they're like, or if we go deep into Asia, like Chinese are proud and they're still having their culture. You see what I mean? To the point where there's a number of Chinese takeaway restaurants, yeah, that black people, funny enough, Africans, funny enough, love to eat those food. Do you see what I'm saying? So if they can embrace their culture, do you see what I'm saying? And even in the restaurant, you're gonna see like the writing in Chinese and all that stuff there, and that's just we're just talking about Chinese. And even you know what's nice as well? Fuck, I just realized as well earlier from the day I was recording this video when I was going out to even get that junk, unfortunately. But this is fortunate because I can tell the story. Everything happens for a reason. Like I bumped into a woman, innit? This video might belong to the actual fucking show. I hope not. But anyway, this woman, yeah, she asked me, what she asked me? Asked me like, oh, is there any Indian shops around here? Like, I looked at her like, you do realize I'm not Indian, right? Like, and I mean that in no offense whatsoever. If she asks me, is there any African restaurant or African shops around here? Yeah, I could easily just say, oh, look, there's flipping Presidential Suya just like up the road. There's 805, you want to go in, like down further. There's flipping, or if you go the other way. Oh, yeah, it's the same way. There's another African restaurant there. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's things that I can mention. There's another African restaurant like just before 805. Do you know what I mean? Then there's I forgot exactly where it is, but it's behind somewhere. But there is an African shop or a shop owned by Africans that's more like a off license type of thing, innit? I could have mentioned that. Do you know what I mean? I could mention that because I know. Like, because obviously what's weird is, although you may live in a society where it's multicultural, sometimes you make a habit of being around people that are familiar. Yeah. So anyway, and I just want to be around people that are familiar, to be honest with you. Even though, don't get twisted, I'm a friendly person when I can be, when I want to be. But it's a thing of, I'd rather just vibe with people that I'm familiar with. Get me? So anyway, let's keep moving. Let's not make this about me. Where was I? And then Paul said something wild. Yeah, I mentioned this already. He said something wild, which was, we are all African and proud, but we are in London. He also said Chioma wants to go back to Africa. Yeah, me. Those that want to go back to Africa, make sure you do it. Just make sure you do it. Right, this video has been longer than it should be. So there will be a part 2 to this. Alright?